this is gonna be awkward because I can't frame it in with the engine and me, so I'm just gonna have to stand out. It is what it is, but whatever. So this is Tom Heavy 1950 6T. It's for his Born Free 13 show bike. So we had the engine polished in Lincoln, Nebraska, and now I'm gonna assemble it. So we'll start with the crank. I'm gonna grind it if it needs it, balance it, and then just gotta go from there. So bear with me, these first few videos are probably gonna suck, so we'll see. Okay, so like I said, the framing is gonna be terrible, but we're gonna start by pulling the rods off. We'll check those out, check the journals out, obviously get the sludge trap out, get it cleaned. If it needs ground, you know, we might have to pull the flywheel too, but I guess we'll just kind of walk through it step by step. So here we go. Now I've already marked both the rod and the cap to like the orientation, just because it's always a good idea to put everything back together the way it came apart. So you want to make sure you don't mix in and match in and all that good stuff. This is a later crank that has been modified on the timing side to fit the small bearing cases. So everything looks good with the crank, so it shouldn't be a problem. We'll just be able to kind of check it out, make sure everything's good, make our changes, and put it in his cases. Sometimes they come apart easily. Yeah, these don't look bad at all. Kind of see there's not really, must have been serviced relatively recently. Let's see if this wants to. A little bit of scoring down the center line of that one. You can kind of see. Not that bad, but we'll check it out. Okay, so I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Okay, there. So it's been ground 10 under, and technically it's right inside spec. And that one's a little bit too worn. It looks like it's like 3/10 under what it should be, so technically I'd want to grind that. The radiuses look good. They don't look like they're all chewed up or, you know, wrong. They're not 90 degrees, so that's good. And the oil ways haven't really been ground back in, which isn't a good sign. You know, I like to put a little bit of a chamfer down in there, the way the factory did before. So I'm guessing an automotive shop probably did this one. They usually don't do all those little detail things. Well, let's get the sludge trap out and we'll go from there. In the meantime, I'm also going to be boring the cylinder, but I'm not really going to show you much of that just because, well, you know, it's boring. Also, this isn't a tutorial. I'm not like trying to show you guys how to do all this. If you get something out of it, that's cool, but I'm definitely not like preaching or like trying to educate, because I'm sure there's gonna be a bunch of people that say they do it differently or what I'm doing is like wrong or some shit. I don't know, but it's entertainment. Take it for what it is. If you learned something, good for you. This is my favorite tool for the job. Obviously, on a hammer impact. I've definitely broken quite a few of them, but they outlast most everything else. So this is my third one. It's still going good. We'll see if it lasts through this one, but here we go. Oh wow. Somebody definitely has been in here recently because that was way easier than it should have been. Normally these go incredibly difficult. Half the time I end up cutting them out. Try not to use heat, but sometimes you have to put a little bit of heat into them. There are some guys who just put solvent down through the end of the feed. That's not doing anything. If anything, it's just loosening up the hardened sludge that's embedded in there, and it's just going to bleed out as you run your engine. This seems daunting, but it's worth it. This is probably not going to be a good example once we get in here. I wish I had one that was really bad so I could show you how bad it can be, but like I said, it's worth it. It's honestly cheap insurance, and you'll learn something, which is worth it too. Yeah, okay, this has definitely been serviced recently because there's like nothing in there. That is a very clean trap. Usually they are, you know, pretty packed. Somebody's definitely serviced this. Normally, when these are super stuck or full of shit and gross and whatever, I'll use a big tap and then a side hammer, and I'll pull it out. But this one's like not that bad, so I don't want to, you know, shred it, trying to get it out of there. But normally I don't really fight with them like this. I'll just, you know, kind of ruin them. There we go. I just ruin them to get them out because I'm just going to put a new one in. But so you can see, there's really not that much sludge in the sludge trap, but sometimes, you know, you go get your grandpa's old bike out and that thing would be completely full and you wouldn't be getting oil to your rod journals, and all that work you did to put that thing back on the road without getting into the important parts would be a complete waste of time because you didn't want to clean out your sludge trap. And I definitely have worked on engines that people decided not to go that extra step and do that. Now I'm going to try and show you, sometimes I have to pull the flywheels off to grind the journals, and it's because sometimes where the flywheel lands, it's before the radius, but as you can see on this one, there's actually a slight overhang, so it's perfect. So that means I can come in and do this inside radius without touching the flywheel. Sometimes these aren't drilled center when they're put on the crank, and so when I go to grind, I'll run into this big old fat end of this flywheel down here, and it just causes all sorts of problems. So it sucks because that kind of has to change the cost of the grinding, because I have to heat this up and, you know, remove it, do all the work, and then once I'm done, put the flywheel back on. Luckily in this instance, I don't have to do that, so that's really cool. Right now I'm just trying to get the journal kind of close, and then I'll make all the actual final adjustments. Okay, so I've got it zeroed in on the first journal, kind of give you an idea. That's what you're looking for. So now I will grind the drive side journal and the timing side journal. Technically, I think it was the drive side. I'll measure them again, but I think the drive side did technically measure okay, but the timing side was worn past its limit, so both of them are just going to get taken to 30, 20, sorry, 20. On the right side of the journal, I'm 2/1000ths away from my goal, and so now I need to go to the left side, grind it to 0, and then phase grind to the right. So you can't really tell, there's a little bit of a difference there where the two different sizes kind of come together, but I'm gonna phase grind and then I'll show you guys